And welcome to part 2. Let's see what we have. Other big issues with especially new mummies is nannies. It's tough to get one. Before I settled with the nannies that I have right now, I actually got rid of 4 nannies, and you have to try. With nannies, I have absolutely no solution because you have to try. I think the only thing that is different with me and with all the discussions that I see around with nannies is that if somebody's gonna be the one taking care of my baby, if I'm gonna leave the person with my baby, that person has to be my friend. So I'm very close with my nannies. I actually create a personal relationship with my nannies. I get to know about their personal lives. Oh, that's my baby. She's woken up. I get to know about their personal lives, their children, their family, because this is the person I'm gonna leave my baby with, and that doesn't mean that they don't have boundaries. At the end of the day, they know they're here to do a job. But I think it's very, very important to have that personal relationship with the nanny and then let the nanny take control. There's this thing of, oh, the nanny can't shower my baby. Oh, the nanny can't put the baby to bed. Oh, the nanny can't do this. You're getting a nanny so that you can be helped. You don't I don't like being given instructions all the time in terms of do this, and I don't think it should also apply for them. So they manage the home in terms of when the cleaning is done, when the thorough cleaning is done, what food is cooked and stuff like that. But it also took training. And people are also asking, the nannies I have right now I got from referrals, and so far so good. But there's this site I came across. It's at www.m-works.com/employer. So I was curious because somebody had told me about it. And what I found very interesting about this site, you actually go create a profile, you log in, and they have a database of nannies, house managers, blue collar jobs. And I found that so cool. And then what's interesting about it is that these are people who are rated. They are rated by previous employers. These are the kind of things that will make life easier. So if you're actually looking for a nanny or for a house manager, somebody to help out, just go to www.m-works.com and check them out. I think they're definitely worth it because I think they're the most thorough people I have seen in terms of having a nanny database with background checks. But treat your nannies well. Treat them as part of your family. These are the people who you're leaving your babies with. You need to create that environment whereby they are empowered and they love your child the way they would love their own child, and they would take care of that child the way they take care of your child, and that would work. Guys, this is a very funny one, but it has worked fantastically for me. When I was at the hospital, the doctor kept coming and saying, has the baby pooped? Has the baby fed? How much did you pump and all that? And I was so exhausted and I was so tired and I was everything. So I took a notebook and I started recording like the different things that the doctor was asking. She just structured it for me. So I want to show you guys one of the biggest hacks that has worked for me and made my life very, very easy. What I usually have is date, time, urine, stool, amount expressed, amount given, breastfed, burped, remarks. Amount given, I would put exactly what time the baby has had what amount of milk, and then I would click breastfeed. So for example, I would click breastfeed, so it will show that I've actually breastfed at that time or I've given formula. And then I would also show has the baby burped. Like for me, it was just very, very important. And then remarks. This made my life sane. I have these records from when my baby was born. In other words, I can tell you how many diaper changes we have done for my daughter. I showed my nannies how to do it so they keep track. So for example, yesterday she woke up at 7:45. I know she'd had oats, which was mixed with a little bit of formula, and then she had water after that. At 10 o'clock, she had banana, mango, and strawberry, a puree, and then probably mixed with water. It gives you sanity, and it just eliminates that whole bit of trying to remember everything about what the child has done. I think I've talked about my breastfeeding journey. First of all, I had issues with milk. on top of that, my baby didn't latch. But I was so keen. They say that as long as you have a little bit of milk, there's something inside there and you need to work on it. So honestly, my sincere advice and what worked for me is 4 things. Number 1, you have to rest. Number 2, you have to take lots and lots of fluids. Number 3, you have to have a very good diet. Like, you have to eat. If you guys saw, I used to even have ugali and skuma in the morning. Like, you have to have a very, very good diet. And then number 4, it's pump. I basically use the Medela double electric breast pump. There's always this question about manual and electric, and I think it's your personal preference, because some people actually prefer pumping manually, but I prefer the electric. And I used to pump every 3 hours at the beginning. It was a little bit crazy because I had to wake up, but the more you pump, the more milk you have. Those are the 4 things I would totally recommend. But then on top of that, I used to take all these other things. So I used to have my dill seeds, I used to have my flax seeds, and then for the people that the budget allows, there's this thing called Mama-Lite granules. Yeah, you basically just put it in water and maybe you add your dill seeds and you drink. Mama-Lite is a little bit costly, but for the people who can afford it, for me it helped somehow with my milk production. So it's something that I would definitely recommend. And then when I didn't have enough milk, I know we had this big discussion on Instagram, and some people are like, oh no, you need to continue promoting exclusive breastfeeding. But what you guys need to understand is that some people really try. People really try to, no one doesn't want to feed their baby. Yeah. So for the times that I just did not have enough milk, I supplemented with formula. Yeah. For weaning, this was the advice that was given by my doctor, and this is what worked for me. So for week 1, the first 2 days we did 1 fruit meal a day. So mine was a disaster, but I think it's because I started things with very sharp taste. So the first day I gave my daughter apple mixed with prune. Now, if you've ever taken prunes have a very sharp taste. The good thing with prunes is that they're very good for poop, but they have a very sharp taste, and it was a disaster. Oh my God, she was shaking like it was just so gross for her. So I took a step back and I was like, okay, maybe I'm introducing her to something with a sharp taste very quickly. So the next day, what I did is that I took banana, but I mixed it with my breast milk. Then I gave her, and it was all smooth sailing. And guys, that's what I did for the first, I think, 1.5 weeks. So after 1.5 weeks, I moved to 2 fruit meals a day. I had not even started giving food yet. So that time, 1.5 weeks, and then after 1.5 weeks, I was on only fruits and water. Eventually, she could be able to take apples and prunes, and then you have your bananas, you have your mangoes. After that, on week 3 is when I started introducing other foods. So I had a starch and a vegetable. I had the potatoes, the sweet potatoes, and the butternuts. Those were the main ones. And then I had the vegetables. Then I started introducing carrots also. My child really likes, I think her best combination has to be butternut, carrots, and spinach. By month 2 of weaning is when now I've actually introduced two meals a day. So she would have lunch and she'd have dinner. In between, she'll have milk and fruit puree. I have not yet introduced animal protein. Eventually, in the next 2 weeks, I want to introduce chicken. And then maybe later on, I'll introduce beef. But my doctors told me not to wait for too long before I've introduced beef. But that, for the weaning schedule, that has worked for me. And I think it's been fantastic. The baby's room has to be very, very clean. So we usually have very many mothers complaining about their babies are coughing, they're wheezing, they're breathing heavily, that their chests are clogged up and everything. And most of the time it's because the room is cold or the room has dust. So always make sure that the baby's room is dust-free. I get my baby's room cleaned every single day. It's cleaned every single day. So it's dusted and the floor is cleaned. And then also at the same time, make sure it's warm. So either you keep the windows locked and you have nice warm curtains or something, or you just get a nice heater to heat up the room a little bit, especially when it gets really cold. I use the Avent baby monitor to be able to hear my baby, especially at night because she sleeps on her own. For the beds, I love Little Crib. They have nice cute beds. As you can see, the bed that I have here for Kwanzaa, it's so pretty. I actually got the net also from a little crib. It has a stand, and you can see it's so nice and pretty. If you're looking for a nice cot and you're looking for a nice comfy bed for your child, just get in touch with Little Crib. They also have the wardrobes, they have the changing table, and then they also have signages so you can be able to print your child's name and maybe have it on the wall somewhere. They also have very, very beautiful wallpapers. I would definitely recommend Little Crib. One of the things that I've had a lot about is around sleep training, and for me it was by fluke. And most guys who do sleep training, they do this very, I call it military style of letting the baby cry for a few hours and then until the baby gets used to sleeping. I didn't do it like that. To be very honest, mine was by fluke. When my baby came back home, she used to sleep in our room. So her bed was next to my bed, so I could, every time I opened my eyes, I could be able to see her. But then I realized every time I would wake up, for example, to use the bathroom, or every time I would sneeze, or every time I would move, she would wake up. So there was really no consistency in sleeping. I was like, one day I was like, okay, let me just take her to the other bed. I slept with her there. And then for the first time, my baby slept 5 hours straight. But that's because I didn't move. So I put the net, I put her there, and I left the monitor there, and I went and actually slept in my room while I was listening. She slept for 7 hours straight. Then I realized she just wants silence. So what I did is that after she showers and she has milk and she takes a small nap, we used to change the lights in her room to a dimmer light. So when she wakes up, she knows night time. So during the day, there's a lot of playing. So I play with her, we make a lot of noise, there's a lot of interaction. But in the evening, there's no that much activity. She slept from 8:30 p.m. till 7 a.m. when she was about 2.5, 3 months. And I was like, wow. I was like, okay, this thing is working. Like when she hit 6 months, now I started switching off the lights. My baby had good weight. She was healthy. She had added weight consistently. And when she hit 3 months, my doctor said, no, you don't have to wake her up every 3 hours to feed. The baby is fine. As long as she's full at night, she can sleep the whole night comfortably and she's not deprived of anything important. That has basically worked very well for me. The other interesting thing is around teething that people talk about. Fever, diarrhea, and itchiness and all that stuff. My daughter has 2 teeth now. She's 8 months. It has been smooth. Interesting thing. I know moms are always like prepared. Let's have this, let's prepare for the fever, let's prepare for all that. But the nurse and the doctor told me teething does not cause diarrhea. No. The diarrhea comes in because the kids, when they start getting teeth, they are at a stage where they touch so many things. They get a little bit of germs and then they put it in their hands and they're always rubbing their teeth. So those germs is what causes diarrhea. Then of course, it's always nice to have a diaper bag. Don't worry, it's because I've thrown a few things in. But basically, anytime I go for an outing, I usually have the bath clothes, the diapers, the cotton wool, the zinc and castor oil. This is what I use for diaper rash, the zinc and castor oil. It's worked very well for my baby. Then you have a change of clothes. Then you have a light cloth to be able to, like for example, if you need to put your child on a surface, and then you have your shawls, and then you have your extra sweaters and a Macintosh to be able to prevent any dirt from getting onto any surface. Yeah, so I think that one is just a little bit straightforward. The other bit that I think for me was new in motherhood is that people don't really explain to you or show to you the emotional changes that you go through when you become a new mother. Like, it's extra. Your emotions are extra. Your child wants to cry, you want to cry. Like, you feel the emotion. And then, I don't know if it happened to other people, but it happened to me and a few people I asked about. But it's like your whole life and your whole purpose changes. Even when you go to work, it has a little bit more meaning. If you have business, it has a little bit more meaning, because now you have somebody whose whole entire being depends on you. So I think women need to also be told to be emotionally prepared with this being that's coming to the world. And then now, to end it, there's some questions that guys had asked me. Ear piercing. I haven't pierced my daughter. There's nothing wrong. For me, I just don't have that strength. First of all, when my daughter is being vaccinated, I cry. We just, there are tears all over us. Now, if I can cry through vaccinations, where would I do ear piercing? So for me, it's something I've said, you know what? The day she comes and tells me, Mama, I want to pierce my ears, I'll explain to her, it's gonna be a little bit painful and you need to make sure that it's clean, and that's when I'll do it. Leaving baby for the first time, that's the other question that I was asked. If you have good nannies, you'll be very comfortable leaving your baby, because you know you've left your babies in good hands. And that's why I always say, let your nannies take charge, so that by the time you're going back to work, you know that your nanny is good in feeding, your nanny is good in cleaning the baby, your nanny is good in bathing the baby, your nanny knows how to take care of the baby's room, your nanny knows everything. Like nowadays, I don't even tell my nannies what the baby is eating. Like they know her schedule, they plan. When they see like there's something that's not there, they tell me, we don't have this, and these are the foods that the baby needs to eat this week. So empower your nannies, let them take charge, because when you go and you're out of the house for more than 8 hours a day, they're the ones who are going to be in charge. So empower them. When you have good nannies and you've settled well, leaving your baby at home will not be very, very hard. Weight loss, I told you guys, it's never that serious. As you can see, I still have my mommy tummy, but I think mine is not even really about giving birth. I've just been eating really badly, but I have seen the light and I am changing. But especially if you're breastfeeding, guys, don't bother with that tummy. Eat, because you need to eat to have that milk. Then after that, when you've settled and things are a little bit calm, you can start eating a little bit healthier and do a little bit of exercise. But don't stress about it. I honestly don't stress about it. Work-life balance. And I think I'll end with this. You can have it all. You can have a business, you can have a career, you can be a new mother. One thing I realize is that you need to make sure that you give the best in each. When you're at work, you need to be present. If you don't have good nannies, you'll keep calling the house every 5 minutes. You're not present. When you go to your office, you need to be present. But at the same time, you need to be intentional about what you do at home. So presence drives being intentional with your child. When you're at work, you will make sure that I'm at work for 8 hours. I will make sure I get what needs to be done in those 8 hours, so that when you go home, you don't carry your laptop and you're not doing any work and you're focusing on your child. So I personally, when I come back from work, I spend time, now I take over, I spend time with my daughter. When I'm extremely tired, my nannies help me. We can't control everything, but we can try to be the best parents that we can to these children. And that's what we need to do. So I always say, as parents and as new parents, let us try to be extremely, extremely intentional and extremely present in our kids' lives. Let's find out what they're learning. But at the same time, apart from being intentional, we might fall on a trap, which I saw can happen with me especially, of shielding your children so much because you're like, oh, I need to protect. But I think also from a young age, you need to create a little bit of independence, but at the same time protect your child. That's basically what I have learned from my journey as a new mom, and I hope it will be able to help a new mommies somewhere. And as I said, there's no expertise. It's just stuff that worked for me and some things that I think guys should be able to try out. So thank you very much for watching. I know this one was extremely long, but I hope you've really enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe, share the video, and in case I've left something out or if you have any question, leave the comments and I will get back to you. Thank you so much.